Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced live stream. I'm Daryl at Darzoo on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode forum. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of the Teams controls in the stream.
I'm Shannon at Shakao in the MakeCode forum.
Awesome. So today, I wanted to make a game that explores a particular game mechanic. Just like, narrow in on this one thing that a lot of games do, and see if we can sort of figure out maybe a couple of ways to do it, or just one way that is easy to follow. So the game mechanic I was thinking of is enemy attack, and I'm specifically thinking of, like, a lot of the times in games, what happens is, like, the enemy kind of comes at the player, and then it'll pause for like a charge up, and then it'll like strike, and then it damages the player if you're in front of the enemy or maybe anywhere near the enemy. This is like super common for, I don't know, top down, side scrolling, all kinds of things. And it allows the player some time to like get out of the way, usually dodging or rolling or blocking or something like that. And then and it adds some variance to the enemies, instead of they're just coming straight at you, or they're just shooting at you the whole time, or or they're doing something else. Often there's like a dash, they'll charge up and then they'll like dash forward in a certain direction, and then you can get up behind them if you like sidestep and then get up behind them. Anyway, so that's what I was going to do. So enemy, let's say charge attack. What do you guys think? Any thoughts on this direction?
Yeah, sounds great. We did like just a dash in the boss battle that Joey made.
Right.
I think it was Daryl, actually.
The Daryl boss.
The boss was Daryl.
Yeah.
But there was no warning. Well, I guess Daryl would say dash right before.
Daryl dash. Yeah. I remember that. Let's pick. I was gonna pick like a new background color, but honestly, the standby ones are just the best. All right, so I'm just gonna use some placeholder stuff right now. Why? Ooh, I wonder if we could parallelize, and you guys can make some sprites. So let's think of a setting really quick. What kind of setting would we like for this game?
It's October.
It is
It's
October.
October stuff. So it could be like scarecrows and crows and pumpkins. Oops.
I feel like scarecrows is a winner. Sorry?
Yeah, like corn maze, scarecrows, crows.
All right. Awesome. So Shannon, make an October scary thing that's going to be the enemy. And then Richard, how about you make an October thing that's like, a good guy, a player?
It's going to be a scarecrow with a turnip for a head.
Yeah, I'm making a crow. How big do you want these to be, dude?
Let's do both of them like 16 by 16 if you guys want, just standard size, and hopefully that makes it easier to draw too in some ways. For now, I'll have the duck as our placeholder, and I'm going to create some enemies, and let's say every 5 seconds we'll create enemy. And this enemy, what is the enemy of the duck that's inside of our thing? I mean, we got the classic little skeleton guy.
Bats, snake,
crab. The snake is great, and it's got a nice little attack animation already. So maybe I'll just start with that.
Rep, though.
Right.
Everyone's always like, that looks like a villain.
Which one?
The snake.
Oh, the snake. Yeah. We don't. Oh yeah, we do have a little crab. The crab is too friendly, though. All right. So let's say I'm gonna call the duck Ducko, and the bad guy Batty. Does Batty have 2 Ds? Do we think, or 1 D?
Yes, 2 Ds.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
IE.
Yeah, IE.
All right, IE. And I'm going to place these randomly. So we've done random placement a number of times. In this case, I'm going to set the X and Y to random variables between 10 and let's say the screen width height minus 10. So the reason why I'm doing 10 is so that they don't start too close to the edge. It's okay if they're a little bit off, but don't want them way off. All right. Okay. So we've got the baddie randomly showing up. And then I'm going to have them follow the player. And baddie follow ducko. And let's have them follow like pretty slowly. So you can kind of avoid them a bit. 40 is even kind of fast. Let's do half of that. All right, they're coming at us. Okay, so now what I want to do is when they're within a certain range, they're going to stop, go into their charge animation or their charge state, and then after a certain amount of time, attack if the player is in the place where they were before the charge started. So to do this, I'm going to need to know the distance between the baddie and the deco. And there's a few ways you can do this. So knowing distance, you can either, the common ways we do it are, you can use like invisible, like hitbox sprite. We've done this a number of times. The other way to do this is a distance formula. And that's, distance formula is pretty easy these days, especially since we have return values and functions. So I think I'm going to do that. I think it's been a little while since we did that. So I'm going to make a new function called distance, takes in two sprites, and it's going to return the distance between these. Now, let me attach this comment to this function with the distance formula. So the distance between A and B is and you're just gonna have to kind of trust me on this, it's a square root of the distance between A.x and B.x squared plus A.y minus B.y squared. And this is just one of those things they teach you in math class. And I think we've talked about it a little bit more in some of our other streams. So now I'm going to grab all the pieces needed for this. So I'm going to need a square root, and then I'm going to need a plus. And then inside of each of those, I'm going to need a power, which is hidden a little bit. There we go. And then inside of the power, I'm going to need some minuses. And we're doing to the power of 2. And the minus items are going to be the x of 1 sprite, and then the y of 1 sprite, and the x of the second sprite. And you make sure these are, using the local variables. And the y of the second sprite. So let's see, how did that go? So I think that's our distance formula, and we were returning all that. So this should tell us the distance between two sprites. So now what I want to do is I'm going to be checking for when the enemies are within the player distance. And I'm going to do this in on-game update like every 100 milliseconds, so 10 times a second. And it really doesn't need to go, too much faster than that. All right, so I'm going to loop over all of the enemies we've got. And we're going to use the array of enemies. And then for each one, I'm going to say if the distance, and we can use a call, call distance here between value, which is the enemy, and deco is less than, what's a good distance? Maybe something like 60. Then we're going to do something.
60.
And, oh, did I say
60 is
60?
like the whole screen.
Yeah,
After
I guess 60 is kind of far, isn't it? Let's say it's 32. And we're gonna change, some different behavior, but for now, I'm just gonna, for the sake of kind of understanding, I'm going to just change the image of the sprite. And what I'm going to do is, let's make this 2 wider in both dimensions. And grab this guy, center him like that. And I'm gonna add an outline. It's like, let's do yellow. So you can tell when they've spotted you. And they're charging up. And this is all temporary art. How's the art coming along? Should I check the chat?
I have no.
Okay. No rush.
Yes, actually, I got my scarecrow, I guess. I might iterate on him a bit.
Yeah. You can keep iterating. I've already drawn the outline, so. So
nope,
now you'll
coming into chat now. You can use it.
All right. I'll wait for Shannon, and then I'll check the chat. So now we've got these snakes, and they look like normal snakes. And if you get close, bam, their outline turns yellow, which means they've spotted you and they're ready to pounce. So I think 32 is even a little bit far.
Yeah, because it's a radius, right? So
right, it's a radius. So yeah, this seems better. So there is when they would sort of charge up. Okay, cool. I like how that's working for finding, if it's time to attack. So let's see. Shannon, sorry, did you say something earlier about, is your art ready, or?
Yes, there's a couple different components.
Oh, sweet. I'm excited. Okay, so let me, a couple different components. Should I put these in an array or an animation, or?
It's an animation, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I like
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so let me pull up the chat. Oh, it's our guys' faces. Okay, so I got Richard's. And Richard, yours is the good guy, right?
Yep, scarecrow.
Whoops. Delete the old one.
Good scarecrow.
Wow, that's such a good scarecrow. Is it a turnip head because of Howl's Moving Castle?
Maybe.
Or just classic scarecrow thing. Let's grab these other images. This doesn't make it too easy. So we got walking frame 1. And I think I'll use this. Let's put that. Oh, nice. So I'm going to go to the extensions and add animation. And this is going to give us this new animation category, which we can use to animate using frames. So we're going to animate baddie with some frames. And the first frame is this one. And the second frame is this one. And
Oh, no, the third one's just the attack, so it's only 2 for.
Oh, I see. Okay. So we'll have walking and attack. Awesome. Let's delete this. And I guess we can just put the attack animation in place of the charge right now, and I'll change that later. All right. Wow, these look great. Okay, let's see how these look. Oh, whoops. I need to say attack repeat, and let's see how this looks. Probably a lot faster. 100. That looks great. All right. So we've got he's coming at you. Oh, I love the bumping head. But, So actually, I'm confused why he's flickering. Oh, it's because we're not changing. So I need to stop the animation. Stop all animations on value. And then let's see how this looks. So, they march at you, and then they, kind of look like that. Awesome. Okay, so I think I'm going to, I'll probably have, Shannon, can I ask you to draw a charge animation?
Sure.
Charge, just a charge frame, if you want. And then I'll use the attack one you sent us, like when they're actually going to do the attack. It's so fun that I can, assign you guys homework. Okay, so
a little outline for the charge.
Sure, yeah, that would be great, actually.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell the enemy to stop following once they get into charge position. So now they're getting ready to attack. Great. So let's think about this a little bit. So the components of charge are charge attack. So come within distance, charge for a little while, stationary, and then attack. So that's after some time, after timer of some form. So I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to change the kind. Do I even need to do that? Probably not. So I'm just thinking this through real quick. So there's a few ways we can do timers. One is lifespan. That's kind of the main way we usually do timers. I could also put something in the sprite data and tick that down over time. If I do it as a lifespan, then I need to recreate the object when the lifespan runs out. And I kind of don't like doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna, we really should have, oh wait, I do have a timer extension. Okay, I'm gonna add my timers extension. And I swear, this wasn't all just a build up for this, but there's now an extension in search for, if you search for timers, you'll see, you won't see these guys. These are because I've been locally working on this extension. Arcade timers adds a new category that just has a bunch of timers. I know this looks like I really set this up, but I swear I didn't. And
it
has
all set up.
It has these blocks that can help you do things after a certain amount of time. So the one we want, I think, is for action at most every blank do something. Well, actually, let me think about this. So sprite of kind. Okay, so I am going to change the sprite kind. I'm going to say after 500. So after the charge time of, let's say it's kind of long, like 1.5 seconds, we're going to do something. Like I'm going to do this for now until I get the other frame. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to set the kind set kind of the enemy to like a different kind, so that this code, oops, not to enemy, to new kind, charging enemy. So this loop will only run over every enemy, and then once they've been changed to a charging enemy, this code will stop applying. So now what we should see is they're coming close, they're charging for a bit, and then poof, they pop yellow. Nice. So that's basically what we want. We're gonna have to change, what attacking looks like in just a moment. Do you have them in chat?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Sweet. Thank you. Oh, I missed the I. Okay, so charging enemy is, whoops. I almost forgot about it. Okay, is that one? Let's change this back to 16 by 16. This is a great charging enemy. And then attack, I'm going to change this back to transparent here. All right, so we've got the crows that come in, charge for a bit, and then attack. So let's have them attack the player. So I'm gonna just create a function for this actually. Attack. And it's gonna take in the baddie that is the one that we want to attack with. And let's call attack using this value here. Okay, so let's see. So first thing we do is we change this, and then I think what we want to do, so there's a few different ways we could do attack. So we could attack everything around in an area, or it could have like a trajectory that it was going to attack at, and it's charging, and there's probably some indication to the player which direction it's going to attack at, and then it sort of does a little dash forward. I kind of like that one because what that means is, well, it's just kind of interesting looking, I think. And it gives you, then you have to like sidestep out of the way, and then the enemy kind of moves past you, and then maybe you get them from behind. What do you guys think?
I missed option 1. Sorry, I'm drawing corn.
Oh yeah, option 1 was like attack in a big area around you, like a big stomp or something. But I think that's a little out of character for crows. I think crows would charge up and then dash. That's sort of what I imagine.
Not much AOE with crows.
This is true. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, I think once they start charging, I'm going to save the vector of like X and Y between the player and the attacking enemy onto the enemy, and then once the attack happens, that vector will become their velocity for a certain amount of time. What do you think of that, Shannon?
Yeah, that works. I was gonna say you could just pass in the current player X and Y to the attack function and do the math there, but it's really just a matter of where you're putting what.
Yeah. Well, so I think I want them to have their vector figured out before they go into charge, so that you have a way to dodge it.
Oh, I see. Right.
So I think I need to store it on them. So we're going to use another extension, sprite data, or should I use block object? Now I used to use sprite data. Block object is another great extension by Richard that lets you do a lot of the things of sprite data, but in a little bit more advanced way. So sprite data, if you haven't seen it before, adds all these blocks to the bottom of the sprite category, lets you store things on sprites. Very useful. So in this case, we're going to set a couple numbers onto our baddie here. And those are going to be, I'm going to say charge X and charge Y. And I think I can do this because I know that this is kind of always at a certain distance when this triggers. Not an exact distance, but close enough. I think I can just subtract the the player X and the baddie X to get what I need here. Not 100% sure this is going to work out, but we'll see. We'll adjust if it doesn't. So if I just subtract the X and the Y's, that gives us the difference, which is also going to be a vector. And then when we want to charge, then I'm going to set the velocity. Actually, I like setting the velocity in component form, just in case I want to do, I don't know, it's just more flexible than that big block that does everything at once. Baddie VX, baddie VY to sprite data. Let's get as a number on the baddie the charge X and charge Y. So got to make sure that these names match up with these names. We won't give you a nice error. The program just won't work super well. So let's see how this looks. So not a very dramatic charge. Let's make that more dramatic. So we can fix that by just adding a scalar in here. So let's multiply by some charge speed, which I think we want maybe 10 times as fast as it was going, which is maybe a little fast, but we'll see. Okay, so let's see. We got here. Let's move out of the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty fast. But you know, you're given a long time during which you're notified about the charge. So the other thing about charge is they usually they usually don't run off the screen. There's just like a certain amount of time, and then after that amount of time they stop charging. So I'm going to set the velocity of the baddie back to 0, 0 basically at the end of half a second. So it's just going to be a half second little charge. Now let's see how that goes.
You could just refollow maybe.
Wow, half second will get you pretty far.
I think Shannon's right.
Yeah.
If you just refollow, it'll adjust the velocity.
Yeah, I think that's I think that is correct. So I'm thinking. So let me think about this. So we want to be switching in here after we're done with this. We want to switch back to a sprite of kind enemy baddie and refollow. But actually, what I'm realizing is that this is similar code to some of this. So I'm going to call this enemy attack, and I'm going to make a new function that is enemy chase, and it takes in a sprite. And maybe this isn't worth it because there's not a lot going on in here, but we want this animation. And in the case of at the end of an attack, we also care that the kind is switched back. So I'm going to, the kind is switched back as well. And I'm not going to get a quarter. So got to make sure to set this correctly. And let's call enemy chase inside of here. So what this should mean is that
I think you need to drag the local variable into that call, otherwise it'll.
Yeah, it's using. Yeah, this is tricky. You probably shouldn't use local variables with the same name as global variables. Although I don't know, do we handle that correctly? Because
what? Yeah, we do. I think so.
Okay. As in, like, if I'm using the same name, it'll be the local variable. I think that works.
Pretty sure that worked fine, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's just see kind of how this goes. So let me start away from our crow. Charging. Yeah.
Oh, it
Okay,
is not stopping.
They're not stopping at all. So let's
Yeah.
see. So after 200,
So I'm
say
guessing
call enemy chase. So
the
maybe
follow
I'll,
on.
I think let's just set the velocity to 0 and then say follow. It's also possible that this is, I guess I should have been scientific and tried one fix at a time instead of multiple. Let's see how this works. Nice. Yeah. And so if I, run by them, they'll attack kind of where I was. So I think a second and a half is very generous for us. We should have less time. Let's say a half second. 1/3 the
Remember,
time.
the player is your enemy.
Oh yeah, this is great. Sorry?
I said, remember, the player is your enemy when you're gaming.
Yeah. And I think, wow, I would love to, in the attack, can I do a sprite effect that's like, is there anything yellow? Trail.
I think the trail might look good.
Trail is rainbow, but
250.
there's
I think it might
yellow
look
in
good.
Yeah, there's a little something going on.
Do it. Set that block twice.
Oh, does it stack?
I think so.
Then why don't we do it 3 or 4 times?
Because that would look ridiculous, Daryl.
Woo. This is quite fun already, even though there's no winning, losing point.
Wait, try fire.
Oh yeah, I think fire is probably more Halloween appropriate too. Fire. Let me see what else there is. Ashes.
Warm radial.
Fire. Warm radial. Just do a mixture of things. Build your own particle set. That's too much. Okay, so I think fire was doing fine and the rest are just kind of ridiculous. Ashes also maybe looked okay. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, the problem is the fire ones stick around for a little bit, whereas trail I think
it like
goes away.
Right. Oops. Let's try just something a little less intense. How about that? It looks like they're losing pieces of themselves. I think we'll just leave it as trail.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed reasonable. And if there's a lot of birds on the screen at once, we don't want it to be too noisy. Okay, so now we've got many of these different components, and I realized that for symmetry's sake, or just everything looking nice, we've got enemy attack, enemy chase. I'm going to make one that's enemy charge, to just kind of group up. Oops, not an image. Get her baddie, and let's delete this parameter. I think that'll make our code just kind of nice and organized. So when we're within distance, we call enemy charge. Whoops. And call enemy charge on value. So we've got our charge code. Oh, I have to say baddie everywhere. It also reads a little bit better. Value is always, I think, confusing thing to read. And now we've got enemy charge, enemy attack, and where is our other one? Enemy chase. And these kind of represent the 3 different states, and I think that looks pretty good. So let's get to some of the gameplay things. So I think, let me just make sure I didn't break anything also. That's also very possible when you're refactoring.
Nice.
This is just a lot of fun. Uh, okay, so let's think about gameplay elements. So I think they
Look
should
at
do
them.
more damage. Yeah, they just, they flock around you. Let's say gameplay. I think more damage during charge is like a normal thing. It's like maybe if you bump into them, you lose a little bit of health, but if you get hit by their like big attack, you lose some more points or whatever. Another thing that's often the case, if we can, if we have time, is if we can get some sort of like right after they charge, sometimes they're stunned for a little bit. And that gives you a chance, the player, to kind of like, get some hits off on them while they're recovering from their big ordeal. Now to make this an actual game, I wonder what we could do. We could just have the enemies spawn faster and faster, and it's just like a time trial thing, like see how long you can survive. And maybe you can attack back at the birds, and they can attack you. I think that's fun.
In chat, I am posting a corn tile for a tile map.
Yes.
Filled with it, but it looks okay.
Excellent. Okay, let's do this. Art is a very important part of all of this. So let's set tile map. I'm going to say 10 by 7, so that we're sort of constrained here. And
Don't you want 10 by 8?
Was 10 by 8 the normal one? By 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So now
that's 8.
So I can't move off that way. I think I'll be able to move off a little bit this way, but not that far. So, if you're able to use that to your advantage, all the more power to you. Great. And now let's add a tile map or tile, and let's go to the chat. Excellent. Ooh, I love it. All right. So, should this be walls?
Yeah, I was thinking for the border around it.
Yeah, that works. Let's do that. And just turn this into walls. All right. Now, it's thematically makes a lot of sense. You're sort of stuck in the inside of this map with the crows.
Maybe if you make the background brown.
Yeah.
Make the background brown. You might have to change the tile, but let's see.
Let's see what it looks like. I don't know. Which one do you like better? Each of you.
Here, I'll make you a ground tile.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let Richard do that.
I'll let you do a ground tile. Sweet. And now that we're using this sprite map, actually the easy way to place enemies is just place baddie on top of random blank tile, and we don't need this set random X and Y anymore. Okay, and I think maybe they can only damage you during charge, so that way if they spawn right on top of you, you actually have that half second to get out of their way. And a crow that's just walking at you is not very dangerous, but a crow that's flying at you, that's where the danger is, I think. Okay, so we set to charging enemy, and then after, so I think during attack we're gonna say, whoops, not that one. Let's set the kind to attacking enemy. And then in chase, we're going to go back to a regular enemy. Great. Okay, I think all that works well. So let's add some hit points. So for us, I think we can just use the life counters, which is that we'll do sprite on overlap of kind, player, and attacking enemy then we will lose some life. And also I'm going to stop their charge. And to do that, I think I can just say chase enemy. And I think everything will kind of get figured out correctly. So you can kind of walk over them when they're, charging.
You're too good at dodging, Daryl.
So it, let me mute that. So they can definitely take your life down pretty quick. Oh, interesting. Wait, so I feel like they're charging really fast.
The farther away you are, the faster they'll charge, right?
Well,
it looks like it's taking your life down even when it's,
Yeah, it seems like it's going faster than half a second once they get there, but maybe that's not correct. Let's give, whoops, where's our game? Let's give ourselves more life so that we can see what's going on here. I feel like there might be a bug in the reset code. Let's see, 10, 9. Did that seem faster than half a second to you? Yeah.
Here's the tile. It's not particularly exciting.
Nice. I'm excited. Let's grab that. All right. Nice.
Good dirt.
Yes. Great dirt. And we're going to place on top of one of those. Excellent.
Also, I like how these crows are in no way scared of our scarecrow.
Oh yeah, they're
wait till the scarecrow learns how to fight back.
The crows have, learned, right? They're very angry of, the centuries of misleading scarecrows. Okay, so let's see. So when attacking enemy overlaps, then we say chase enemy. Then we set our kind back to enemy. And then we'll be within distance. And then we set the timer. We set the kind. I feel like this is enemy attack is maybe even called multiple times. What do we think is happening? Maybe that is half a second.
Yeah, I mean, it could be half a second.
Yeah, you know what? It's good enough. I'm gonna go on with the rest of the show. All right, so let's add some health to the enemies and a way to attack back. Okay, so I think for attacking back, ooh, yeah, I kind of like the idea of like we do like a little twirl or something, and like just attack crows, next to us, around us. Yeah, let's do something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna add health. So I'm gonna add the health bar extension, status bar. And this is a great extension from Joey that lets us add status bars to, different things. So we're going to create a status bar of kind health, or there's actually an enemy health kind. And I think we're going to want this to be pretty small. And we're going to attach this, the status bar, to our baddie. And yeah, we don't need any sort of padding or offsets. Okay, let's see what this looks like.
Padding. Oh no, that looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that looks all right. Okay, great. So now we've got this. So let's add the attack animation for us. And I think I'm gonna have it so that you can only damage the enemy when they're stunned. How much time do we got? We got 15 minutes-ish. I think I can make all this work. Okay, so I'm gonna add a stun phase to the enemy. So they currently have a chase, attack, charge phases. With the stun phase, they're going to be vulnerable to attack, and that's only going to happen immediately after a charge. Because otherwise, I think it'll be too easy for the player to just go around whacking people and just kind of moving in a circle, or avoiding all the enemies. Yeah.
Real quick, there's a fun trick with the status bars. If you set them to be invisible, and then in your damage code you set them to be visible, they'll only show up once they've taken damage, which is
okay. I like that a lot. Let's do that. So invisible is just
a normal sprite. So yeah.
Right. So handy thing to know about status bars is they are just a sprite, and so all the other things you can do with sprites. Where's my getter? You can do with status bars. Great. So status bar is invisible, and okay, let's add the stun phase. So we're going to do, let's see, yeah, let's just create a new function, and we're going to call this enemy stun sprite baddie, and that's gonna live down here. Okay, so we're gonna set the kind of baddie to a stunned enemy, and I think I'm going to have a visual for this, which is maybe like the charge one, except I think it'll be sort of Shannon, do you feel like drawing a stunned crow? You don't have to if you don't want
to. I could do it. Yeah. What color?
I don't know. I was thinking like a red outline, but kind of whatever. Like I was thinking, maybe it looks a little flopped. Maybe its wings are kind of out and sort of disoriented. But you've already gone above and beyond with creating visuals, so we can just use this one if we need to. Okay, so a stunned enemy, we're just gonna do stunned, and then after let's say half a second, we're going to go to enemy chase, and instead of going to what's that?
Wait, you want them to be stunned after they attack?
Yes.
I thought you wanted them to be stunned after you attack them.
Oh, no, I'm thinking it's after they attack, and then that's your sort of moment to like, get back at them.
Okay.
Yeah, you could totally do it either way, I think. Let's see how this plays real quick. So they attack, and then they're sort of stunned a little bit. So the important thing is that in that sort of stunned mode, they won't attack again, in theory. Something a little funny going on with timers, I think. And when they're red like that, I think that's when they will be vulnerable. They're sort of exhausted, they put a lot of effort into that little dash attack. Okay, so now we know when enemies are stunned, and so what we can do is how is the player gonna attack? So I think the player will do like an on A button pressed kind of thing. So on A button pressed, we're going to loop over all enemies of kind stunned and see if any of them are in range. Is that the reasonable way to do this?
Oh, so you can only hit them when they're stunned.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my thinking, so the way it's going right now, I feel like it'd be too easy to avoid, like hit and avoid enemies if you could just attack them at any point in time.
I'm not sure the player will know about that, though.
This is true. I could probably communicate somehow. Or if the player just tries for a little while, they might figure it out. Well, I'll just keep going with this and see how it looks, and then if we have time, we can change things. Okay, so for each stunned enemy.
Oh, sorry. This does seem like maybe a good use case for like a big collision sprite.
Yeah.
But
it's true, but we do have this distance formula already here.
Yeah.
And this will let us change the attack radius. And I was thinking of doing like a little animation where I send some sort of particle spiraling out or something. But I don't know if I'm gonna have distance for that. So
there's a particle effect for that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll try that. So I'm gonna say that are you thinking also, Shannon, so that you can see it kind of visually?
Yeah, but I think a particle thing would also work. Like Richard said, there's like a spiral.
There's like a halo or like a radial or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. So
Doctor Strange.
Okay, nice. So I'm gonna get the status bar attached to the enemy, and I'm going to change. Well, actually, I'm going to save that as a variable. A status bar attached to the enemy of kind enemy health, and then I'm going to change the status bar by some amount. Let's say, well, it's at 100, so let's say it only takes 4 hits. It defaults to 100, but we could change that. And then also going to set the visibility of the status bar. What's that, Richard?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's see. Let's set the status bar invisible off. Okay, let's see how this works. So come at me, haha.
Yeah, I do think we need some visual indicator of like attack radius.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so just start the effect on the scarecrow, the radial effect, and
yeah, I'll definitely try that. I think stun is got to be a little longer. Okay, so let's make stun a little longer, and then let's add an effect. And the effect is going to be start effect on Deco. That is warm radial. We want it to be pretty fast. Let's see how this goes. It's maybe a little slow. Okay, I'm just gonna give in here a little bit and say that we're just going to, how do we do this? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. On Deco, I'm going to create a projectile, and it's gonna have no velocity, and it's just going to be a circle at the size that I care about, which, what did I say?
32
Before
by
it was 16, so yeah, 32 by 32. Which might be a little big. If I had more time, I'd love to do like some sort of, thing that spirals outward maybe. But for now, I think this will kind of get the point across. And we're going to just set a lifetime on this. It's really not important kind of what this does, other than to give a indication of what's going on. Lifespan to 250. Does feel like debug code. It doesn't really feel like.
If you very quickly animated it so that the circle was coming out, maybe.
Oh yeah, great idea. Okay, I think that'll do a lot. Let's do animation. Set animation. Let's do that fast on the projectile. And let's copy this. And oops. So I guess the tricky thing is I need 32 by 32. And actually it's not 32.
Just paste
why
it.
isn't select all working? Anyway. Okay. Whoop. We're gonna start, kind of small. And then
I think you should fill it in.
Skinning.
Should fill it in. Yeah.
Shannon's also right. You should turn on onion skinning.
Oh yeah.
This is still good though. This is good. This is.
There's a, yeah, I think that's basically working. Let's see how this looks. Maybe I'll fill it in with orange. See what that is. All right. Oh, and then I think really importantly, I'm going to set the Z index of the projectile to be low, because we don't want this on top of basically anything. -1 gonna, oops, not X. We want to set the Z index. Okay, let's see how this goes.
Oh, its lifespan is shorter than the animation.
Yeah.
Oh,
You need to make the animation interval smaller.
Yep. 50 should be fine. What did I do? 4 frames. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to do real quick to make this a game that's more fun to play, and then we're out of time, is I'm going to say, let's just have a ticker. Every second we get a point.
Maybe you
and I
could do
didn't
this on an on baddie destroyed.
Yeah, I was thinking of it more as a survival game. So
I would have drawn my scarecrow differently if I knew he was doomed.
Oh no. So we're gonna get the sprite that the status bar is. So when the enemy health reaches 0, we're gonna destroy it. And I think we can destroy it with a ash effect, and I think that will look good. Where's ash? I swear there was ash.
Yeah, under halo. Up, down.
There. Ashes. Okay, so we're just about out of time. Any thoughts on the naming here?
Not very scarecrow.
Dang it. What did I got something? Got too many things going on. Oh, it could be that I've destroyed it and then some timer went off. Oh dear. That's gonna be a little tricky to fix.
It shouldn't cause that error.
Not very scarecrow. All right, well, I'll see if I can fix that before posting it to the forum. Thanks everyone for watching. So this was a little demo maybe on how to do an enemy charge effect. I'm Daryl at Darzoo on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Richard at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Shannon at Shakao on the MakeCode forum.
Thanks for watching.